welcome to our seniors yoga / chair yoga. So this is great for just waking up the body on those mornings when you're feeling a little rusty, in the evenings when you just want to open the body and move a little bit, help the body just get some blood flow going, some energizing. All right, so let's get started. So we're starting in our mountain pose. So mountain pose, you want the feet about in line with the hip bones, okay? And you want to just play with the weight on the feet. You can go forward and back a little bit, side to side a little bit, and then just bring the hands down by your sides, and you could just turn your arms to face forward. So palms facing forward, we'll just open the chest. And while we're here, let's close the eyes and just take a few nice deep breaths in. Bringing in your ujjayi breath, which is a slight constriction into the front of the throat. And this will help you to bring your awareness to your breath because you can hear it. So it's like a loud whisper, but with the mouth closed. And also just notice where you're breathing and try to direct the air to the lower belly first and then allow it to travel upwards into the chest. So a few deep breaths in, just like this, might even be enough to wake up the body and give it the oxygen that it needs to feed your cells and muscles and organs. Even 5 minutes a day of standing here and breathing deeply is very beneficial to the body and the nervous system. All right, let's start with extending the arms up overhead. So let's reach the arms up overhead. And here you can bring your palms together at the top. I'll just stay down so you can see my arms, but you're standing. And you can also grab opposite elbows if your shoulders allow above your head. And just give yourself a nice opening stretch by contracting the back muscles a little bit and sending the shoulders back toward the wall behind you as your chest reaches forward. And then we'll exhale and bring the hands back down by your sides. Good. On your next inhale, we're going to reach the arms forward this time. You want your palms facing down, and here we'll just start some circles. So you can, depending on your shoulder mobility, widen the circles and try to bring your thumbs close together as they come forward, and then open the circles nice and wide. And if you can reach, maybe come all the way up and go as far back as you can, again bringing that contraction to your upper back muscles. And sending the chest forward as you bring the arms back. Good. Perfect. We did about 5 of those. Let's reverse and do another 5 in the opposite direction. And again, your shoulders can be wide like this, or they can just be little circles. And even if it's too high, you can do them down here. Okay? So just make this pose yours. We're lubricating the shoulder joints. Good. And let's do one more. And bring the hands back down by your sides. Good. Take a nice deep breath in here. And exhale. Slowly bring the arms now out like in a T. And we're going to come into spinal twists. Okay? So trying to keep the hips level, the belly tucked in to protect our spine. We're just going to rotate the arms over to the right. Take a breath and bring them back to center. Over to the left. And back to center. Over to the right. Center and left. Let's do one more on each side. Mindfully moving here, trying to move gracefully and slowly between the poses. No jerky movements, and then slowly release the hands down. Good. All right, so now let's get into our legs a little bit. So we're going to start into a standing pose called Warrior 2. So standing on our mat, hopefully you have a carpet or some sort of sticky surface. You're going to take a big step out with one leg. Okay, so your legs are about 4 feet apart depending on your height. Okay, comfortably apart here. And then all we're going to do is we're going to turn the right toes to face forward. So they're perpendicular to each other. Okay, so left toes are facing toward the side and hips are facing toward the side. and then right toes are facing forward. And then we'll reach our arms out in opposite directions like a T out by our sides and bring a bend to that front knee. Now you will need to readjust the distance between your feet, so just wiggle it out until you feel like it's the right distance for you. And then again, just tuck the pelvis under, tuck the belly in a little bit here, and reach the arms out in opposite directions. Press into both feet and breathe here. And I'm going to show you the chair version of this pose. So for those who are standing and you're comfortable, please stay here for 3 more breaths. If you do have a chair and you prefer to do this version, it's the exact same pose, except we're going to bring one leg out behind us and then open the chest. Okay, so your right hip, sit bones, and upper thigh are resting on the chair. But then you want to work on building the strength for the pose. So you're going to start to lift off of the chair and just lift and hover those hips right off the chair if you can. And you can come toward the front of your chair, the more easy this gets for you. All right, let's move on to the other side. So again, left toes will face out to the left and right toes facing forward. Bend the left knee, open the arms. Again, thinking about the positioning of the hips, belly tucked in, and press into both feet. And I'll just move over onto the chair to demonstrate the other side. Gazing over your left fingertips here, pressing into the feet, trying not to slump into that chair. Good. Let's take a few more breaths here. And just feel the body. Be with the body. And slowly release. Good. All right. So that was warrior 2. I'll show you triangle pose. Okay. So you can use a chair for this one. For this one, you can use the back of the chair. And we're going to separate our legs out again. Okay. So same position. We're going to turn the right toes to face out to the right. This time, there's a little bit less distance between the legs, and the back toes are just turned in slightly. So as if you were looking at a clock now, your foot would be pointing towards 1 o'clock, okay? And then the right foot is pointing out to the right side. So here we just want a slight micro bend to that right knee. Again, reach our arms out in opposite directions. And from here, we're gonna lower down and bring the right hand to rest, but not slump on that left leg, wherever it reaches. It could be on the knee, it could be on the shin, or if you have the mobility, bringing it all the way down to the ankle or mat. If you're using a chair, just bring it out to the side here and bring it like that. And here we have our triangle pose, sending that left shoulder back in space, opening that left hip, and reaching the left arm up to the ceiling. Slowly coming out of it, and let's go to the other side. So all we're going to do now is switch the feet, left toes pointing back, right toes slightly in toward like 11 o'clock on the clock, and then slight micro bend. And there we are. When you're ready, hinging forward. Opening the body toward the right and looking up if your neck allows. If not, please keep your gaze down or straight ahead. And again, finding the spot that feels right for you. Distance between the legs, and maybe reaching farther down as that left hamstring begins to open. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up, bending the knee to support you. Beautiful. So these were very powerful poses. All right, let's try a balancing pose. We're going to do tree pose. Luckily, we have our chair right here. You can use a chair or a wall as you need for balance. Okay? So we're going to take our left foot and bring the sole of that left foot into the inner right calf muscle. So if you've got a chair, great. If you don't have anything, you're in the middle of the room, just hovering those left toes will be enough to help with the balance and support you. Okay, so we're going to bring our hands out to the side. Will also help for balance. And send our belly in, tuck our hips under, as if we were standing on both feet. Okay, to want a nice straight spine. And then you can reach the arms up like a V. If you find this simple, you can also try placing the left foot into the inner right thigh, okay? And hold it there. Hands can come at heart center if that feels better for you. Finding something steady that's not moving to look at will also help with the balance. Beautiful. And release. Good. Let's move on to the other side. So again, holding on to your chair, just turning around if you need it, and placing the foot in the position that feels best for you today. And knowing that one side might be very different from the other, and also knowing that one day might be very different from the other. So some days we're just naturally more balanced. Other days we're just falling all over the place, and that's normal, that's okay. Good, one more breath here. And release, beautiful. All right, let's all come onto our chair for some hip openers. So for this pose, it's thread the needle. We're just gonna sit on the edge of our chair, keep a nice tall spine, and we're gonna take our right foot and place it on our left knee. Good, and then from here, flex that right foot, protect it, and then just lean forward. You should feel a nice opening along the outside of that right thigh. Stay here for as long as you wish. Pause the video, it feels good, and release. Switching to the other side. And fold. Good. Beautiful. And slowly release. And then we'll make our way down to the ground. If you're not comfortable on the floor, we will continue on the chair. All right, so we're gonna come into downward dog. So I'll show you the chair version first. So we'll take the chair in front of us, and we're gonna bring our palms about shoulder distance apart here. And then we're just gonna lean into our palms and send our chest forward. Contract your upper back muscles again, send your chest forward. At the same time, you're rounding a little bit into the lower back, tucking your belly in, and pressing into the chair as you lean back. As you breathe in, you're sending your chest slightly forward. As you breathe out, you're creating a little bit of space in the upper back by protracting the shoulders. And I'll just show you on the ground. Here we have it. You're pressing the floor away from you. You're pressing the hips up toward the ceiling. So bend the knees as much as you need to. Come up on the tippy toes. And then slowly send the heels down toward the mat. Again, tucking into that belly and rounding into the lower back. Take another nice deep breath here. And slowly come up. Now making our way onto the mat, we're gonna come into butterfly pose, okay? So butterfly pose is a nice one. We're going to sit with our soles of our feet touching and our knees wide apart. And we'll just open the legs like this, like a butterfly, okay? On a chair. Just try to sit all the way back and maybe just bring one leg to the inside of the opposite thigh and then just move like this, okay? And then switch legs. Okay, and then the other option is to bring both onto the chair. And they don't have to come up very low, okay, depending on the flexibility of your hips. And if that does not feel right for you, just open the legs nice and wide and then bring the feet together lower down, okay? Good. All right, so moving the chair aside now, we are going to make our way onto our hands and knees, okay? So onto our hands and knees here, we're gonna push the floor away, kind of feel like you're pressing the palms towards your knees and open the chest. And then as you exhale, round the spine, separate the space between the shoulders and tuck the chin in. few more times just like this. This is called cat-cow. So we're arching and then we're rounding the spine. If you prefer not to do this on the ground, you can also use your chair. So from here, we're in seated, and we just arch, and we round. Arch, and round. Arch, and round. Good. All right, so if you've done a few more on your hands and knees, we're gonna make our way onto our belly now. So on our bellies, we're gonna do a little bit of a back bend called Sphinx. And it's basically elbows underneath the shoulders, palms flat down. And you're pulling the hands and elbows back toward the hips as you open the chest. If you wanna make this a bit more active, you can make it into a baby cobra, okay? So baby cobra is bringing the palms underneath the shoulders and then lifting up. Pressing into the tips of the fingers and clawing them back towards your hips again. Beautiful. And then we'll slowly lower down. Press our palms under the shoulders, come up onto hands and knees, and walk the knees in. And then we'll just sit on our knees here and walk the hands forward and relax in a child's pose. Okay? So don't worry if your heels and hips don't touch. If you're all the way up here, that's okay too. And just release. So on the chair, a child's pose will look like this. And so if you were in or baby cobra, it would just be to hold it like this in the chair, okay? If you prefer to do it on the chair. And then for the child's pose, it would just be to fold over the legs. And this is really great for releasing the back muscles. Slowly roll up, tucking the belly in the whole time. So we're going to come into our wind relieving pose, which means we're going to roll onto our backs. So if you're on your mat, please roll onto your back. If you're in a chair, all you're going to do is hug one knee in and pull it towards your right shoulder. So right knee to the right shoulder, using your arm strength here to get a little bit of compression into the spine. So I'll show you what that looks like on the ground. And then the left leg here is extended out. Or you can keep your left knee bent and the sole of the foot down. And then we'll just switch legs. And we're ready for Shavasana. So just relax now and allow your whole body to rest on the mat, melting into the earth beneath you. And just allow the body to reap all the benefits of the practice that you've just done. You've woken up all the parts of your body, shoulders, spine, hips, legs, arms, and just breathing into all of that. I hope this has helped. It's been my pleasure to practice with you today and hope to see you again soon. Namaste.